Hi, this is Belinda from Belinda's Book Nook, and I thought I would come and hold on a second. We got books falling everywhere. I thought I would come in and talk to you about the books I am reading for Black History Month. But first, I have to show you this bag that my friend made for me. I love it. I am officially a bag lady. I like to get tote bags from all the bookstores that I go to. I like to, I love getting bags. I like sometimes I had shown you on here the bags that I'd find from Target for Black History Month. They're just fun because you can throw a few things in them and you can just throw them in your car and go, So my friend is an amazing fabric artist. She makes these amazing quilts and she's gotten into making purses now. And I'm absolutely love this last one. I mean, a tote. I absolutely love the last one that she showed me, and I kept oh, I love that, I love it. And she's like, I'll make you one. And I'm like, okay. So we were able to pick, I was able to pick and select. She gave me some options for the fabric. But here it is. Look at the color of this, okay? Look at this. Oh my gosh. As I drop it, I have stuff in it. But look at the color of this, okay? That is too funny. It's just so nice. I love it because Ella's hair is already on it. I love it because I can wear this with, and it can be elevated with say black, or I could wear this with jeans and sweatpants or whatever, and it's still cute. It's still comfy and cozy. So she trimmed it. This is cork, black cork, and she put black cork on the bottom of the bag. So the front of the bag has this cool brass button here, and then it's got pockets on the side, and then inside this is the color of the inside, and then I have some books that are in there right now just to show that I could drop it on air. So but I love it. I just think it's cute. It's really nice. I'm loving it. I take it with me to the cafe. I love lugging different bags to the cafe to bring stuff there. So this is just unbelievable, just beautiful craftsmanship. She even showed me how this is a box bottom, so when it sits down on the floor it'll be flat. I mean, it's just gorgeous. It's just so pretty. So enough about that. Let's talk about books. So inside here, and it can hold a lot. I've got a lot. I've got my book journal in here. I mean, this you can still put a lot more in here. I just threw these in here because I need it. I have my Kindle in here. And I have two of the books that I'm going to talk to you about today for my TBR. So what I was thinking, I think I did this, I don't know if I did last year, but I typically try to include in my Black History TBR some, I'm laughing because Ella's laying right here. She's staring right into my mouth. I like to include illustrated children's books that are, they're a topic of either about a person of color or a piece of history, what have you. And so this year I found two that I thought would be fun. And the first one is Leaders Like Us, Jackie Ormes, or Orms. I'm not sorry if you think it's Ormes. And it's by J.P. Miller, and it's illustrated by Amanda Corte. And this is the cover of it. I don't know if you can see it. I just don't know if I'm gonna have time to do the book up here. So I'd rather just push it live. So that one talks about her, and she was one of the first, if not the first, African-American cartoonist that was syndicated in this country. And it talks a little bit about her. It's a very, very short book with absolutely stunning illustrations. Again, I always say to people, you don't have to always read a big, huge book. Sometimes these little books have a big impression on you. And then they usually, after you read it, it brings you down the rabbit hole. So you get online and you just can look up more information about the person or the topic. So that's what I'm doing with this particular book. I think that the thing that was cool about her illustrations is that they were all of it. I think it was the first and only at the time cartoon that featured an all Black cast. And then she was very successful. She actually was able, they made a doll after one of her characters that was really popular. So she's really interesting to read about. And then this one is Leaders Like Us, another part of this series. And it's Charlotta Bass. And I believe she is a journalist, if I'm correct. I'll have to read. I haven't read this one yet. And this is also by J.P. Miller, and it's illustrated by the same person, Amanda Corte. And that's the cover on that one. So it's just fun. It's nice to read them and put them between some of the heavier books that I tend to read, usually for Black History Month. So I have those two, right? Let me see. Actually, do I have any other ones in here? Okay. So then I told you, doing some reading for, by the time you see this, this book will be released. But I am doing some reading reviews for NetGalley, and I'm reading this book right now. It's called Let Us March On by Sarah Moon, and it's the untold story of Lizzie McDuffie, the White House maid who became FDR's unofficial secretary. So this is the cover of it. I don't know if I showed you this. I feel like I showed you guys already this one, but there it is. I'm finding it really good so far. I have already started it, and it's giving me the vibes of like Lee Daniels' film, The Butler. I don't know if you've seen that movie, but that was a good film, and a nice one to watch during Black History Month if you get a chance. And I think it's probably on one of the streaming services for sure. But this one, it follows Lizzie McDuffie and her husband, who is a valet for the FDR, and she ends up working at the White House, and it tells her story in how she ends up, kind of getting the ear of FDR and being able to get more exposure to the concerns of the African American community of the time. So far it's pretty good. I'm enjoying it. We'll see where it's going to go. Ella, be careful not to knock over the camera. Now she's laying down. She's promised that she's not going to bark at any dogs or anything, so we're hoping that'll stay. So that's one that I'm reading. Another one that I'm going to be reading is A Different Drummer, and it's by William Melvin Kelly, and I'll show you the cover in a minute. Let's see if I can get the overview for it. This is the book for Read So Lit, the book club. So there's also another one that I think that they're reading. Oh, I can't remember what. There's a one that if you're not in the book club that you can read for Read So Lit. I can't think of the name of it, but if you go to Dee Dee's channel, you'll see what the book is that you can read along, and she has really great discussions afterwards. So if you do get a chance, that would be an opportunity. I'm blanking. It's Anne blank. Can't think of the author, but anyhow, this one, A Different Drummer, is a 1962 debut novel of William Melvin Kelly. It won the John Hay Whitney Foundation Award and Rosenthal Foundation Award of the National Institute of Arts and Letters. She says, June 1957, one afternoon in the backwater town of Sutton in an imaginary southern state located between Mississippi and Alabama, a young black farmer, Tucker Caliban, I don't know how you say that, Caliban, matter-of-factly throws salt on his field, shoots his horse and livestock, sets fire to his house, and leaves with his pregnant wife. I haven't read it at all, the description, as you can see the reaction. I'm starting an exodus of the entire African-American population of the state. The novel gives background and context to Caliban's act across a dozen chapters, each told from the perspective of different white townspersons. So let's see. It says here on the cover of this one, it says, the time the Negroes left the South, an overwhelmingly, utterly original novel by a brilliant young author who has been compared to Orwell and Huxley. So this is the cover. Ooh. There's a couple covers, but this is the cover I think I have. I ended up getting it the ebook of it. So I only have it on my Kindle, but there's that. I'll probably start this later in the month so that I can be closer to book club time. So there's that one. And then I had mentioned to you guys before, I'm trying not to buy everything. I'm trying to take things more out of the library before I buy books. And I'm also trying to get ebooks instead of physical books all the time because I have run out of space and I still need to, do some paring down. So I pre-ordered Fearless and Free, a memoir by Josephine Baker. It is coming out. It'll be out by the time this video is up. I think it comes out February 4th, if I'm correct. This is her memoir that she wrote, which I was not aware. There's been so many books written about her, movies. I did not know that she had written a memoir, but it was only available overseas. So this is the first time it's coming here to the United States that we're going to see this in English. I'm really curious to hear in her words what her experience and thoughts of everything around her and her, in that time period. So I have that. And then I also came across, I was listening to a podcast and I don't remember the name of it, but it was an interview of this author. And I was instantly saying, I want to read this book. And the author's name is Hajar Yadiga. Nope. Yazdiha? Maybe. I'm really butchering it. But the name of the book is The Struggle for the People's King. This one just sounds really timely, like something that needs to be read now with the current situation in our country. But she talks primarily about how Dr. Martin Luther King's words have been taken out of context and used incorrectly to support usually polar opposite views or sentiment of Dr. King. And so it says here, how the misuse of Martin Luther King's legacy divide us and undermine democracy. In the post-civil rights era, wide-ranging groups have made civil rights claims that echo those made by Black civil rights activists of the 1960s, from people with disabilities to women's rights activists and LGBT coalitions. Where's that going to? It just sounds like it's going to be fabulous. I have that. I ordered that as an ebook, but I looked online and let me see if I can get a bigger picture so you can see the picture. I looked online and goodness. And the book is not out yet. Well, it should be by the time again we get to doing this. It should be out for you guys. But let me just, oh yeah, here we go. Here it is right here. I'm like trying to click the button. So this is the cover. Very striking. Here's a red, white, and blue. I'll show it to you again. I think this one is phenomenal. I started reading it and I have been highlighting like crazy the things that are in it. So I would hope when I finish this one would be a good one to do a book chat about. I think what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do book chats about every book I read. Just pick one or two each month that I'm going to talk about and highlight. And I think this one sounds like one I really want to talk about because I think that, sometimes people don't want to read books like this, but there's a lot of information that's really important in here. That's like the 1619 project. It was, people started to say a lot of negative things about it. And so people are polarized when it comes to reading that. But that book is filled with so much history and so much information that it's so worth like picking it up and reading it. And I mean, I could reread it and still like learn again because I've forgotten stuff, but there's just a lot of information that's in there. And I think this one is going to be one of those ones too that it has, it pairs it with a lot of historical information that's kind of been lost. The other thing that I like lovely about this book is that Hajar is not African American or Black. I can't remember, let's see what her ethnicity is, but the fact that she's writing this book and she felt compelled and so much passion you can feel in the writing of it. It just moved me, and it felt good. Sometimes there's always controversy on whether, who gets to tell the story and how it's received when the person writing it isn't from the group that they're talking about. But I think so far she's done a great job, and I think it's something that a lot of people should end up reading. So I have that, and then the last thing that I have, I know, am I talking about me? What? Yep, got a big old list. We'll see how I do. I am going to be reading poetry. So I've got two here. I bought this one, and then I realized that Clint Smith had another one. I talked to you about him and How the Word Is Passed, which is one of my favorite books of all times. And he's an autobiography author. So when he came up with this, I was like, yep, get it. And this is a collection of poetry. But then when I looked in here, I found out he had this one. So I just ordered this one. And as you can see, I've started it. So it's really short. And I'm actually understanding quite a bit. I've always been transparent about me and poetry. It's like, I mean, I just don't understand most of it. I want to, but it usually doesn't sit with me. But I have been taking a pencil and putting an asterisk next to the ones that speak to me and that I understand and that I like. And there's quite a few. So this is about 70 pages maybe. Let me see. It's really short. Yeah, about a little over 70 pages long, and it's filled with poetry as well. So I'm not going to probably read both, but I'm definitely going to finish this one for Black History Month. I mean, maybe I'll get to that. We'll see. It depends. I have a lot in the other books to read, so but I am adding some poetry. So if you've never read this one's Counting Descent. I'm sorry, and this one is called Above Ground by Clint Smith. So this came first before this one, and I'm enjoying this a lot. So I will look forward to reading these. So that's what I'm reading for Black History Month. I have so many. I have a lot of books that I had intended on reading in past Black History Months, and I almost was going to do that. Like, let's just pull those back and read them. And then I was like, no, because I'm such a mood reader, and these are the things that are kind of shining in front of my eyes right now. So I'm just going to go with that, and hopefully I'll get those done. And we'll be able to talk about them at the end of the month. But let me know if you're reading anything for Black History Month, what you're reading, and also any recommendations based on what you think about my reads. If you know a book that you think I should put on my list for next year or put on my list for later this year. And I read a lot of African American authors anyway, so this month is not really too much different than any other month. So if you do give me suggestions, it could be something I'd read this year as well. It just depends on if it will fit into my schedule. But I will talk to you guys later. I'm starting to get tired, so I will talk to you guys later, and we'll discuss some more books. Happy to be back. Talk to you later. Bye.